But it's clear now that we didn't do enough to prevent these tools from being used for harm as well. And that goes for fake news, for foreign interference in elections and hate speech, as well as developers and data privacy. We didn't take a broad enough view of our responsibility, and that was a big mistake. And it was my mistake, and I'm sorry. And it was my mistake, and I'm sorry. And it was my mistake, and I'm sorry.
It must have been very humbling for Mark Zuckerberg to apologize to the whole world for a privacy lapse that contributed greatly to America's failed election. Facebook is worth more than $720 billion US. They are a social media powerhouse, and yet they do not have the strength to uphold and protect our privacy. So the question here is, who can? If you think that your privacy is 100% secure and safe while you are a citizen of the internet, you really need to change your worldview. So long as you are leaving digital footprints on the World Wide Web, there is a chance that your private life, your secret life, could be looked at by strangers. And that is a scary thought.
An American charged with leaking 14,200 names from Singapore's HIV registry and threatening to disclose them more widely has had his request to dismiss the case refused by a judge. Over half a dozen witnesses testified on the first day of Mikael Ferreira-Brochet's trial in Kentucky. FBI agents and others said Brochet smuggled the database out of Singapore partly by sending it to his mother.
Okay, wait up. What? A HIV database could be stolen and sent to the thief's mama? How relaxed are these privacy gatekeepers? How would these victims ever face the world again with their dignities stripped totally naked and flashed to their friends and families? To many, this isn't a problem at all. People say, I lead a clean, legal, and innocent lifestyle. My life is an open book. I'm not afraid of people spying on me. Yes, that may seem to be the case. But what if I told you that even the most personal pictures you send to your loved ones are stored in a database in the name of national security?
That is a picture of my dick. So let's go through each NSA program and explain to me its capabilities in regards to that photograph of my penis. So, 702 surveillance, can they see my dick?
Yes. The FISA Amendments Act of 2008, which Section 702 falls under, allows the bulk collection of internet communications that are one-end full. If you have your email somewhere like Gmail, hosted on a server overseas or transferred overseas, or at any time crosses outside the borders of the United States, your junk ends up in the database.
So it doesn't have to be sending your dick to a German?
No. Even if you send it to somebody within the United States, your wholly domestic communication between you and your wife can go from New York to London and back and get caught up in the database.
Executive Order 12333, dick or no dick?
Yes. When you send your junk through Gmail, for example, that's stored on Google's servers. Google moves data from data center to data center, invisibly to you without your knowledge. Your data could be moved outside the borders of the United States temporarily. When your junk was passed by Gmail, the NSA caught a copy of that.
Prism.
Prism is how they pull your junk out of Google with Google's involvement. All of the different Prism partners, people like Yahoo, Facebook, Google, the government deputizes them to be sort of their little surveillance sheriff.
They're a dick sheriff.
Correct.
Let me share with you a personal experience. 5 years back, I decided to leave my country, cut ties with all of my friends so that I can start life afresh. But to my horror, 1.5 years later, I received a friend request on an instant messaging app from an old friend located half the world away from where I was. When I saw that request, I was in shock. Believe me, I went through hell and high water to make sure that I remain unfound. At that time, she was an employee of the bank that I'm a customer of. This lady accessed my records, found the phone number that I was using to communicate with the bank, and from that number, she added me on the instant messaging platform. This was an utter violation of my privacy and also a gross violation of the law. Now, just imagine if your most private and intimate pictures land into the hands of some undesirable personalities. We know that although machines play a huge role in these private data collections, but you cannot forget that human beings are the administrators. In the National Security Agency of America alone, there are around 30 to 40,000 employees. Just imagine how vulnerable is your private information. Again, you may say that you have nothing to fear because you lead a clean, legal, and innocent lifestyle. But do you dare to guarantee that people would not sell your credit card details to the black market? Are you certain that those intimate pictures or videos that you took with your lover is not being uploaded or sold to a porn site? Would your business ideas or inventions be kept safe and sound from your competitors? Are you sure that the textual messages sent to your friends or business associates would not be used against you out of context when the government decides to put a target on your head? So no matter how clean, how legal, and how innocent your lifestyle may be, as long as you own a smartphone, you communicate using the internet, and surf the web, your privacy is at risk.
Mr. Pichai, is it true that the Android operating system sends Google information every few minutes, detailing the exact location of a smartphone within a few feet, the speed of movement of the phone, the altitude of the phone sufficient to determine what floor of a building the phone is on, the temperature surrounding the phone, and other readings? And if so, with Americans carrying their phones with them virtually at all times, doesn't the collection of this volume of detailed information really mean that Google is compiling information about virtually every movement an individual with a smartphone is making every hour of every day?
It depends on the applications users choose to use. If you're using a fitness application, which is detecting the number of steps you walk, you expect it to send that information. But it's a choice users make. We make it clear, and it depends on the use cases.
So the answer to my question, my first question, is yes. Is that correct, that the information that I cited is gathered by Google?
For Google services, you have a choice of what information is collected, and we make it transparent.
Do you know that $3.9 million is the average cost of a data breach in the world? And $8.2 million is the cost of data breach in the United States alone in the year 2020. Do you know that just in the first half of the year 2019, there were 4.1 billion records exposed due to data breaches? Do you know that 53% of companies had over 1,000 sensitive files open to every employee at any given time? Do you know that in the coming year, there will be 3.5 million unfilled cybersecurity jobs in the entire world? Do you know that it was projected that in the year 2017 to 2021, cybersecurity spending will exceed $1 trillion? Listen, my goal here is to let you be more informed about privacy matters. I cannot find you a solution to this problem, and by looking at how things are, this privacy problem will get worse. I believe that by being informed, you will then be able to make more informed decisions. By learning all that I have shared about data privacy, you can now make more strategic and smarter decisions. You would probably think twice before taking intimate photos or videos with your lover. You will be more careful when you give out your credit card details on a website or over the phone. and you may pick better word choices when communicating about sensitive political matters. It is what it is. Privacy is non-existent now, but still, you have the responsibility to make sure that you take care of your family and your own privacy to the highest level.
Panama Papers, believed to be the biggest data leak in history.
There's been another data leak, and this time involving the Singapore Accountancy Commission.
In Privacy Watch, a Seattle woman is in police custody in connection to a massive data breach which impacted more than 100 million Capital One customers in the U.S. and Canada.
Another major setback for Facebook, the social media giant already under fire for not protecting users' private information, now admitting it's been hacked again. This time, many are wondering how safe is their personal information.
How safe, you may ask? Your privacy is never safe.
And it was my mistake. And I'm sorry.